Okay, let's be real for a second. You've heard it before. Americans love to say European food is bland, the portions are tiny, and you leave the table still hungry. And look, for some places, maybe that's fair. But when it comes to Paris, that argument dies right here. Because Paris has been doing fine dining longer than most countries have been countries. This city didn't just influence food culture, it basically invented the rulebook that every chef on the planet is still following today. I am Sam, and in this video, we're breaking down the top 10 foods you had no idea were born right here in Paris. So the next time you book that trip, walk into that cafe, or sit down at that restaurant, you're going to know exactly what you're looking at. Buckle up, foodies. Let's get into it. 8th place, and we're already smashing a myth. Crème brûlée, yes, the real deal with that shattering sugar crust, gets its first printed recipe in Paris, way back in 1691. Forget the Spanish and English claims. Parisian chefs were torching sugar on cold custard before it was cool. The secret weapon? A red-hot salamander iron, wielded tableside for that signature caramel crack. By the Belle Époque, cafe critics in Le Temps were raving about the sound, le craquement, as if it were culinary fireworks. And by 1900, glass bowl service turned every order into a performance. It's not just dessert, it's Parisian drama, built on contrast, cold cream, hot sugar, and a crack that announces itself across the room. Number 7. And Paris proves even bread can be born from bureaucracy. In 1920, city law slapped a 4 a.m. curfew on bakers, no dough before dawn, no exceptions. The result? The round, rustic loaves disappeared overnight, replaced by a long, skinny solution, the baguette. 65 centimeters of pure Parisian problem-solving, engineered to bake fast, just 15 minutes in a steam oven, crust crackling and crumb still warm. Guild minutes from 1921 show a 30% drop in round loaves almost instantly. Forget artisan myth. The baguette is regulation with a golden crust. In Paris, even the bread comes with paperwork. Number 6. And Paris throws down the gauntlet in the luxury cookie wars. The macaron wasn't always the pastel diva we know today. Before 1930, it was a plain almond meringue. Nice, but hardly the star of the patisserie window. Enter Pierre de Fontaine at La Durée. He grabs 2 crisp shells, smuggles a punch of chocolate ganache in between, and suddenly, Paris has a new icon. The proof? A ledger entry from La Durée's own archives, April 1930, marked macaron forays. The price? Up from 5 centimes to 12 overnight. Press like Le Gaulois gushes about an elegant explosion of chocolate. And those pastel colors? Straight from the Art Deco playbook, turning the macaron into edible couture. Paris didn't just invent a treat, it made dessert a fashion statement. Number 5. And Paris turns baking into a high-stakes countdown. Picture this. June 1835, a royal banquet for Louis-Philippe III, and Chef Carême is backstage with a ticking clock and a tray of soufflé. The goal? Time the rise so each one hits the table at the precise second, puffed, golden, and trembling on the edge of collapse. Carême's secret? A bechamel thickened with flour, turning egg whites into a foam that holds its nerve just long enough for the big reveal. Miss your cue, and the soufflé sinks. Nail it, and the room erupts. This was more than dessert, it was edible theater, a flex of power and precision that made Paris the stage for culinary spectacle. The soufflé didn't just rise, it raised the bar for every chef who followed. Number 4, and Paris doesn't just cook, it writes the rulebook. Auguste Escoffier's 1903 guide, the culinaire, drops the culinary equivalent of the periodic table, the 5 mother sauces: bechamel, veloute, espagnole, sauce tomate, hollandaise. These aren't just recipes, they're the backbone of every French kitchen, from the Ritz to the tiniest bistro. Escoffier's drafts, now tucked away in the Musée de la Gastronomie, show him running 27 reduction tests to get each one right. By 1905, Critics in La Revue Culinaire were already grumbling about oversimplification, but the global impact was unstoppable. Paris handed chefs everywhere a universal language. Master these 5, and you can improvise anything. That's not just food, it's culinary science, born in a city obsessed with order and elegance. Coming to the top 3, Paris Brest is the pastry that proves Paris can turn a bike race into dessert history. May 1910. Louis Duran whips up a choux pastry ring, pipes in a praline nut cream, and shapes it like a bicycle wheel to celebrate the Paris-Brest-Paris endurance race. This isn't just a snack, it's pure marketing genius. Le Petit Journal runs an ad, cyclists write home about the calorie bomb handed out at the finish line, and within a year, Paris-Brest pops up on cafe menus all over town. It's a pastry engineered for spectacle and speed, a sugary tribute to the city's love affair with sport and showmanship. Paris didn't just invent a dessert, it invented edible branding, foreshadowing the next act, where fire and flambe take center stage. Number 2. And Paris sets the kitchen on fire, literally. April 11th, 1895, the Prince of Wales, a hot pan of orange butter sauce, and one royal slip at Café Lefebvre. Suddenly, the brandy ignites. Flames leap, diners gasp, and a Parisian crowd bursts into applause. Chef Moulet, quick on his feet, doesn't panic. He doubles down. He names the dish after the prince's companion, Suzette, and turns disaster into drama. Within 7 years, Crêpe Suzette is the hottest act in town. By 1902, elite menus across Paris are listing flambéed crepes, and every wannabe chef is racing to set dessert alight for the crowd. Paris didn't just invent a dish, it invented culinary theater, with a spark that still steals the show. The croissant au beurre is Paris's ultimate breakfast icon, but not every croissant in the city lives up to its legend. In 1839, Auguste Zang opened his Boulangerie Viennoise, introducing steam ovens and Austrian Kipfel. By 1842, Parisian bakers had mastered laminated dough, layers of butter folded and proofed for that signature shatter. Butter shortages after World War II let margarine creep in, but a 1947 decree forced bakeries to use real butter for croissants, au beurre, or face fines. The butter wars peaked in 1974 when Poilane Bakery's posters declared, "Le vrai croissant, c'est du beurre." The straight-ended croissant became a symbol of Parisian pride. Scientific studies back the tradition. Butter increases flakiness by 12% compared to margarine. In Paris, the straight-ended croissant au beurre signals the real deal. 180 years of innovation, regulation, and pure, flaky payoff. Across all 10, here's the shocker. Paris doesn't just invent, Paris rewrites the menu for the world. Next time you bite in, remember, you're tasting pure culinary revolution. Vive la différence!